All right, it is 8:17 now, and President Barack Obama preparing to address the nation tonight, outlining his strategy to combat ISIS, the scary terror group out of the Middle East. And he may not seek congressional approval for some of his strategies here. And here to discuss the president's speech, U.S. Congressman Steve Cohen from Memphis. He's live in Washington this morning. And Congressman Cohen, what do you know about what the president plans to say?
Well, I believe the president is going to let the American people know of the danger that he foresees from ISIS and their efforts to create a caliphate or an Islamic state throughout the Middle East. An Islamic state that would not be a friend of the United States or a friend of democracy, a friend of people who are not of their particular brand of Sunni fundamentalist religion, and is a danger to, I think, a civilized society. And he'll let the American people know that he's prepared to unite people throughout the world that are opposed to ISIS, the Iraqi government, which hopefully is going to be properly formulated to include not only Sunni but also not only Shia but also Sunni elements in Iraq, also the Arab League and allies in Europe, to have a united front and to have a united front that operates not just militarily but economically and all other ways to combat this threat to democracy and pluralism.
Well, Congressman Cohen, whenever there's a conflict overseas, it seems like we always get to this point about whether the president has the authority to act unilaterally or if he needs the approval of Congress to take certain actions. What's your view of that?
I believe I was the first person in Congress to suggest that the president did not need to go to Congress. I was on New Day and CNN and made that suggestion. I believe that ISIS is not a nation, even though they claim they're a nation. They aren't a nation. They don't respect national borders. They've killed 2 American journalists, threatened to kill more. They've made it clear that they are a threat to our citizenry and to the type of civilized society that we respect, and they're a potential threat to America. Tomorrow's 9/11, and I'm sure that's going to be on the president's mind. It's on my mind. I just visited the 9/11 Memorial, a very well-done museum, and one that makes you reflect on the horrors of 9/11, 2001, brought about by radical fundamentalists that believe it was their way or the highway, that they give their life to try to attack our country, and those people were part of Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda movement. This is beyond al-Qaeda. We fought them, and we need to fight ISIS.
And is that an important distinction in your mind, the fact that this ISIS network of terror, whatever you want to call them, is not a country, and therefore the president has wider latitude to go after them without Congress weighing in?
Indeed, I think that's the main distinction, is it's not a nation. In the Syrian situation, which we had some time ago, we would have been attacking Syria, one of the nations of the world and a member of the United Nations and all. But ISIS is not that. ISIS is kind of in a scary way. It's like something that Ian Fleming created. It's like Dr. No. It's the evil empire that is not a nation, just an evil group of people or an evil individual at the head who's a threat to the free world. And it's kind of like a privatized terrorism, a public-private partnership. But it's not a nation. And I think the president has authority to protect our interests in these situations. And I think Congress will not object.
Well, the words you're using to describe these terrorists, and we've heard other people use those same words, this is a scary bunch, and people are saying that they're taking terrorism to a whole new level. With that in mind, Congressman Cohen, do we have the capability to defeat this terrorist network?
You know, hopefully we will, and the president will say that we will, and it'll take time. I think I've heard about a 3-year program, but in those programs it usually goes into overtime. But it's hard to defeat people who would give up their own lives and are so dedicated to their way of life and their philosophy, and not embracing others and just saying basically their way is the only way, and then anybody gets in their way they'll kill, and they've shown that. But even though it'll be difficult to defeat them, we can certainly diminish their capabilities of inflicting harm on the homeland and on Americans in other places. And sometimes people don't respond to force, but the fact is you've got to combat evil wherever you find it. And when it's a threat to you, not when it's a threat to you, even though it may be impossible to eradicate them or to change them because of their mentality, you still can't just sit back and let them get stronger, have them create a caliphate in a country where they would have more strength and more financial resources. And the financial resources is one of the places we need to hit them. They've been getting oil out of Iraq, and we need to stop that. And they've been bribing countries for the threat of killing their citizens. And we need to stop their ability to get monies to finance their operations.
All right. U.S. Congressman Steve Cohen out of Memphis joining us from Washington this morning. Congressman Cohen, thanks for joining us. So the president tonight will outline his strategy to combat ISIS. We look forward to that. Okay. It is 8:23 now.